Well, hello and welcome back to another episode of Surviving Iron. You might be able to tell from my voice and by the lack of me featuring on the screen. I've been rather unwell this week, and it's taken a while to get this one out. But here we are in episode 4 of Surviving Iron. This was meant to be a bit of a mid-season update, but we've delayed a little bit because there has been absolute chaos happening. The last couple of results have been a little bit disappointing, but we were playing top and second in the table. But if you can see here, we are currently sitting 1 point above the relegation spots. And there's just been some really quite strange, but also quite rewarding things happening over the last couple of weeks as we have tried to survive Iron. And if you're new around here and you're enjoying this content, make sure you like the video. It does really help us. Comment any feedback below or let us know how you're going. And make sure you click that subscribe button. We're going to be releasing more content around MFL over the next wee while and lots more things to do with fantasy sports. So thank you for joining us today. 2 games to go. Two games against bitter rivals in the relegation battle on the final day. That is going to be absolute chaos. And tomorrow morning we play 5th, who we actually beat 4-2 early in the season. So I'm really hoping we can get a bit of a win. And that'll just give us a little bit of breathing room. But at the moment, we are looking like we might do the Great Escape. And as I said, it's been a very interesting time over the last wee while. I think the last time we caught up with you, we'd sort of, still in the cup, but went out in the cup there. We had this really tough loss to Van City MFC, where we probably should have picked up a point there. But then we backed that up with a 0-0 draw against Sherwood, who were actually in 3rd at the time. And again, then we lost again to bottom of the table SFAC. So it's just been up and down. But this one here in particular was an absolute outlier. And you know what? The engine probably shouldn't end up like this, just with the difference in teams. Like if we look at here, McBride was the owner at this time, but has since sold. I mean, there isn't a massive amount of difference between the two teams, you might argue. But stats-wise, it looks like we just got our tactics really well done. And the thing that I liked about it as well is, I was looking at scouting out for when we were getting this matchup, similar in the similar times in the table, and looking at what we could actually do. And I watched the previous game where we lost 2-0, and what I noticed, and you can kind of see in some of the goals here, is that we were just sitting off their defenders, or their attackers rather, a lot. And so, playing a little bit high press, a bit more direct. You can see this lovely interchange between Verban and Romo there for a goal. It's that kind of thing that I've been looking at, thinking, actually, I think we just need to play a little bit direct. Miss out some of these midfielders here in that 4-3 attack, and it worked an absolute treat. We were just scoring goal after goal after goal. Sepulveda here, I think ended up with a hat-trick, yep. And again, just balls in behind, getting on to the ends of things. Akhtar managed to left back, managed to score a goal. This one was a really strange one, but I mean, you're gonna have these things happening from time to time in the engine, and you just gotta hope that it goes your way. But look at that, lovely run in behind, and slots one away. I think part of also this little bit of success that we've found, in this time here, is actually we made a mid-season signing, and we bought in Arias from Gabriel Cubed. Shout out to Alan for that one. And 79 rated goalkeeper. He just was looking for some game time. He got him in the drop in mid-season. So we gave him the rest of our revenue share. We really tried to bring in a centre mid, but just could not get anything at all. So we've gone in there, and look at that. Since he's joined us, his match rating is 8.6. And only played 3 matches. So we're trying to get him in. The one issue that I've been battling with, and it's what all managers will be battling with as well, is trying to manage contracts. And we had, where is he, Gillett here, only just reached his clause here. We're not trying to give up too much of the revenue. And so it was trying to get people in as much as possible. And we managed to put in a couple of my cheapies that I also got just to provide some rotations for those tougher games. But, we've got to the point where a 79 rated goalkeeper actually makes a massive difference to our lineup. But the next game going into Hague Griffins MFC is going to be a very tough one. It is kind of a must-win for us, really, to set us up for that last day showdown with Josset. And, we've managed to, I think, rotate really nicely this season. Even though we haven't had the biggest squad, it's getting people, all over 93% at the moment. Is, I think, a really good spot to be in. Means we can basically just play this lineup 2 weeks in a row, maybe get Di Martino in the final game. But it's a really strong lineup for those last 2 games. And if we go and have a look at a scout in the league, and this is something that you might want to consider as well, I think the rotation that other teams are doing is when you've got that small squad depth, it can be quite tricky. And so, having a little scout through and look at teams, 19 players isn't too bad. He's done a really good job as well of managing it. But you've got these 2 guys here. You've got the top-rated centre-back or right-back. You've got the left mid here. They're all on 86, 85%. So he's not going to be playing most likely those 2 in the game that he, is matching up against me. And so taking advantage of some of this is really, really important. Knowing that, again, left mid or right mid means maybe we play down the right. But, obviously there may be cover for that. But it just means that we're maybe not playing full strength as well. And if I have a look at Josset as well for the final game of the season, and we'll see again whether there's any sort of difference in that one there as well. And so looking again at the squad, he's got 22 players, so a lot better rotation. But, the guys aren't particularly much higher than us. So if we can kind of, pick our tactics well, try and get a draw, I think, in the last game. And if we can win against Hay Griffins, go back to back, I think that will set us up well enough for us to actually get over the line, that great escape. So it's going to be an absolute bloodbath, like I said in that last game, and this can be very interesting on the 29th of May. And we'll give you sort of a recap on that final day and share some thoughts over the season. But, we've managed contracts really well this season. That's been one thing. Everyone's hit their minimum appearances. We've kind of given good rotation. The one thing I was probably a little bit underwhelmed with going into it is we did try to target guys that had progression previously, and I got pretty excited at the start of the season because guys like Romo went up +1 very early on, and unfortunately Jimbo sent me a message and said that is a common occurrence, and then he just plateaus. So that was a bit of a shame, but getting Sepulveda, I think he went up +1 right before the Better Moretti game, and +1 shooting. So those sort of things are really good. But the one that sort of stood out to me is actually Paul Gibbs here, which is actually my player. He's gone up +2, and so he actually ended up becoming our starting CDM. And so trying to target some of this in that preseason as well, where you might be getting a guy in that's maybe 2 overall ratings lower than what you're expecting, but if they're making really good progression, it could be worth chucking them in sort of at a similar rate to someone a bit higher, and hope that you sort of get that progression continuing as well. But not too bad progression around the board, a couple of +2s and +1s, but it was a little bit underwhelming for what we were hoping for, particularly someone like Akhtar here, who was in his second season, and not really getting too much progression there at all. So that's it for episode 3. Just a quick update from me. Hopefully I'm on the mend, and we'll be able to catch up with you this time next week with a bit of a recap on how we went as well. But again, thank you very much for watching the video today, and make sure you click that like button, comment, and subscribe for more awesome content.